Today, we are going to learn about how to write a professional email. Brittany informed me that that is a boring subject, to which I replied, yes, but it is important because you all will have to send a professional email at some point in your lives. And Nicholas, I see it, I understand it. You're doing it anyway. So let me share my screen really quick. Okay. So I made a little PowerPoint here. For you, it's very slowly going to load. Professional emails, y'all. They important. Okay, so the number one thing about professional emails is obviously don't have a dumb email address. There are some examples here of bad email addresses. And you know what's funny is this bottom one seems pretty normal, but it really needs to have, it needs to be obvious about who it's coming from. It can be first and last name, first initial last name, something along those lines. It just needs to be obvious so that people aren't thinking is this spam, you know, they don't know what they're getting. It also doesn't really matter, you know, some people have Yahoo, some people have Gmail, some people have Hotmail or Outlook. It is, most people do Gmail. It just seems to be more of a professional one, but it doesn't really, I mean, don't email from, I don't even know what an example would be. I would go with Gmail, honestly. My email I use for UB isn't my email. Okay, so if you have more than one email, then it's, make sure you use your more professional one for the professional emails.
You can have multiple Gmails.
What's that?
Oh, you can have multiple Gmails. So
yeah.
Michael might have one for UB and a different one for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It just, sometimes, you know, you just got to make sure you keep track of, you have to keep track of as many as you have. So it can get annoying if you have too many. Okay, number 2 in the subject line, it needs to be short and sweet. For example, if you are emailing about a job, the title could be administrative assistant position, something like that. It needs to be searchable. How many of you, by show of hands, I can get back to my screen here. Oh, Adrian's on there. Whoops. How many of you use the search button in your email to look for emails? Okay, so if you title it something crazy and they go to search it, it's not going to pop up. So they're not going to be able to find it. They're going to be like, all right, well, that person's, I'm not going to bother with them. So make it searchable. Greeting. Greet the person you're writing to. When possible, it's best to use the recipient's name followed by a comma or a colon. Examples, dear Chad, dear Mr. Oswald. Yeah, you know. It also depends on who you are. Sorry. Whoa, back. It also depends on who you are addressing. So like if you have already like talked to the person and you kind of know them, you might say, hey there, Joe, and go on with the rest of the email. Just make sure that you address them. You know if you're speaking to a male or female, you know how to spell their name. Make sure you spell their name correctly because they'll be like, well, they don't even know how to spell my name. They didn't even look or research. So I'm just gonna, you know, I don't care. And then say what you're gonna say. Okay, number 4, the body of the email. Explain what you're writing about. There are 2 questions you need to answer. And what are you hoping to make happen, and how can the person help you? And here's a couple of examples. So you would say, hello, Mrs. Smith. I'm writing in reference to the job executive assistant position opening I located on your website. Or I'm writing to inquire about your research on how cats groom their coats, like if you're trying to get information from someone. Or my architectural firm is in need of expertise on tree houses, and several colleagues tell me your insight is unrivaled. So flattering them sometimes helps, makes them feel good, and they want to respond to that. You want to be direct in your email, but not rude. Again, short and sweet. They don't want to open up an email and see several paragraphs of all this information, and they just want to know what's going on. Short and sweet. No one wants to see read a rambling message. Okay, number 5, the closing. You want to wrap it up with a closing line. It should conclude with one sentence that makes your meaning clear and sets up whatever's next. It will help nudge the reader to take action and wind down the conversation. So I'll look forward to discussing this with you further at 11 on Thursday. So then that sets up another communication and a follow-up, basically. Or please look over the draft manuscript I'm attaching and let me know what revisions or questions come to mind. I'm attaching my resume and cover letter for you to review. I look forward to hearing from you. And then sign off. These are several examples here. Sincerely, yours truly. Thanks again. Best regards, respectfully. Don't forget to put your name under it, obviously. And then when you attach, it says, when you say like, I'm attaching my resume, make sure it's a PDF. A lot of people, there's different types you can attach, but usually a PDF is one that's easiest to open and look at. And if it's like a Word document, then they can click in it and make changes, and they just want a PDF is basically rule of thumb there. And very important, proofread your email. Okay, there's no excuse. All emails that I know of have spell check, so use that. And nothing says don't take me seriously like misspelled words and grammar mistakes. Literacy Cat is amazed at your perfect grammar.
I've gotten resumes before, and when I find a grammar mistake, I just put it immediately in the do not hire file.
Yeah.
Because it shows me that they didn't take it seriously.
Right. Right. So, I mean, and if you ever have any questions about emails or like format or anything, it's very Googleable. Like, obviously you don't want to copy and paste an email that someone else wrote word for word, because you want to add your own information and how it applies to you. But if ever I have like a question about like what I should say or something, you just Google an example, like professional email template, and a whole bunch of examples will come up. You can use them, change them. Yeah, does anyone have any questions? No. An assignment will be coming in about 40 minutes for you guys to do. It's just basically pretend I'm an employer, send me a professional email. Okay, you guys could do that and post it in the Google Classroom. That'd be great.
Just a word to the wise here too. I know in composition this week, we went over writing professional letters. It is very akin to that. So if you did that assignment, you should have no problems with this assignment whatsoever.
Yeah. Jake, are you talking? He's talking to somebody. Okay. Okay, so if there are no questions, this class was short and sweet, but important. And now you guys have time to do that assignment later.
We do have a question. Is the slideshow going to be on Google Classroom?
I will post it for your viewing. I missed that chat, sorry. Okay. Class dismissed.